The journey always begins somewhere. It can start from weakness, from aspiration, and even conquest. It can lead to amazing places with opportunities that define you. And that journey can bring you full circle, rekindle past dreams, and surround you with amazing people with incredible stories of inspiration. Hey everyone, welcome back. This is the Inspirational 30 and I'm your host, Jim Gardiner. Welcome to Season 2 kickoff. So a big gratitude to all of you for your support. If it wasn't for you and following us and emailing us and just spreading the message of what we're trying to do here, we wouldn't be sitting here for Season 2. So much thanks. For those of you that may be joining us for the first time, this is the show where I get to sit down with amazing people from all walks of life, each with a story to tell, but really all bound by one thing, and that is we're all just trying to be a better version of ourselves today than we were yesterday. So here it is, Season 2 kickoff. Today's guest is a man who made his living out of crushing the souls of mere men on the gridiron. He is a personal friend, a huge man, only belittled by his huge heart. He is a great father figure, a husband, a father, and recently going through probably his biggest opponent in life. It is my humble privilege to sit down with Lyall Woznesensky. Lyall, welcome.
Thank you, Jim. Wow, what an introduction. Thought you were talking about somebody else there for a second.
So the Woz, right? We can call you the Woz.
Sure
that
can.
was the name back in the day?
It was.
So CFL, how many years?
9 years.
So 9 seasons.
Yeah.
Wow, what was that like?
Probably before getting married and having my kids, it was the greatest time of my life. Fantastic. Very, very fortunate.
So give us the stats at CFL. So what position, your height, all that jazz?
I played defensive end. I played between 240 and 250.
Wow. That's a big man coming at you.
There was big men.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'6" and a half.
6'6" and a half.
Yeah.
250. I'm just trying to think how much that would hurt. Probably a lot.
Well, I don't know. I had some big people coming at me.
Yeah?
You know, those offensive linemen, they were like 280, 300 pounds, right? So they're pretty big boys, too.
You just give them a little juke. And
That's what I hoped. I did it out of fear to get away with it.
So you did happen to go to the big dance, did you not?
I did.
So tell us about that.
No greater experience than going to the Grey Cup. You know, my whole family came down and they're in the stands and they had this song called WOZNESENSKY and they chanted all through the game, which was really cool. But I was fortunate enough, they introduced our defense. So I was fortunate enough to get introduced first. So that was,
Wow.
It was cool. The rest of the game, not so much. But we got crushed by Edmonton at the time. I was with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. We gave it our best shot. They were just a better team on that day.
Yeah. So here you are. You're an SFU alum.
Yes.
Right? And so you started out your football career, and I mean, you made it to the dance. I mean, that must have been quite a day for you.
It's, you know, you talked the Grey Cup. I guess that's one of the most exciting. But maybe the most exciting was putting my jersey on in Winnipeg on the very first game we were going to play. And you see your name in the locker room, and it's got Woznesensky on it, and it's all real, right? I mean, even the guys, I remember back so well because there was pranksters. Our trainers were good guys, and I came in to suit up, and my locker was empty, so there was nothing in it. So you think, oh, you're cut. There's the last minute, right? And then they joked with me, and they had it hidden behind a door, and they brought it out, right? But that day, just as much as the Grey Cup years later, was just as memorable.
Wow. As you just touched again on the team dynamic, which is a huge thing for you, I'm sure. Have you noticed the game change? I mean, you know, all these years later, has the game really changed at its core or no?
You know what? It's a good question. I can't speak for the dressing room now. I mean, I do talk to trainers, and a lot of them will say, and equipment men and things of that nature say, it's not the same bonding it was when we play, but you hear that every time, right? But when we played, the teamwork, the bonding, you know, it was like you went to war together, and that's how you termed it, and you had to practices were tough and you worked hard, and then when you won, no greater feeling than to enjoy it with your teammates. That was the greatest thing. So.
Yeah, for sure. Wow. Yeah. Did you ever get your meat hooks around any famous quarterbacks? Anybody we would know?
I hit a couple. I think I got a hold of Warren Moon one game. Luckily, maybe he was tripping, but I jumped on him anyways. But
you got the sack for it?
I got the sack for it. Yeah. So there's some. I mean, Ronnie Lancaster I played against, but he retired after my first year, and I missed him by about 6 inches on one play. So that was my disappointment.
Oh wow. So. Obviously, CFL 9 seasons. Then comes the pivotal time in every athlete's career where they look in the mirror and they say, okay, now what, right? So the big retirement kind of came your way. And real quick, kind of give us a microcosm of what that was like, because I know it's a pivotal time for every athlete, you know?
It is a pivotal time, and you always dread it. You don't want to think about it. With me, I had a pretty serious back injury that I was coming off of, and then I was on the injury list for that part of that year. And then when it was coming up to the new season, they said, well, we're going to have to part ways. So I wasn't especially ready to part ways, but it is what it is. It's a business, and they've got to do what they got to do. But I'll tell you, Jimmy, when you walk out that door, and then you feel like the loneliest person in the world. You know, you had all this attention and you loved it, and really the money wasn't great. I mean, but it was good.
You weren't doing it for the money.
No, we weren't doing it for the money in those days. But I think the loneliness you felt, and the failure you feel. You think, well, you're no longer a success, and it was hard to take. You know, I didn't watch football for any football games for about 2 years. I was just devastated because I felt I could keep playing, right? And it's not like anybody put that on you. You put it on yourself, right? So, yeah, it was a lonely couple of years.
And I think you probably, for me, even back to my competitive rowing days, it's about missing the guys, right? That dynamic more than anything of the locker room, right? I mean, that's...
There's, as I said earlier, I mean, of course you want to win, but the win's nice, but it's the celebration to win, and the guys and the bonds you make. Yeah. I mean, I played on a number of teams, and some people go, oh, you moved around. I go, yeah, I did, and there's a lot of business reasons for my moves. But when I look back now, I was one of the luckiest guys in the world because I got to meet some great guys on every team, and you build a bond, and when somebody's gone, it hurts. And when you leave it completely, it hurts. You know, you just feel, what do we got to say to each other now? You know, right. I'm not experiencing what you're experiencing anymore, and I got to move on. So yeah, that was the greatest part of the game, actually.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, the great thing is after that kind of subsided, I mean, you were able to take everything that you learned from sport and apply it into you being successful in business, in life, right? I mean, 100%.
Well, I kind of hope so. You always try to prepare if you can. You know, football's not going to last forever. I had my teaching degree before I started playing pro, so I knew I had something to fall back. I taught that for 2 years, and then I went to ICBC, and I got in human resources there, and I did a lot of training and development. And it was soft skills training, and it was really all about teamwork and managing conflict and leadership and motivation. And this stuff that came natural to me and being part of it through 9 years of football experience, I couldn't understand that people had to be taught this stuff, right? It was a weird experience, and because I was just so much part of it, and I truly found most of the people that I worked with, and not to take away from individual sports, but the people that had to be involved, that were involved in any type of team sport, doesn't matter what it is, that you got to depend on somebody else. They're some of our greatest workers in the workforce.
Well, I think what we're going to get into now, most importantly, sport, or that team dynamic, and the internal fire that you learn through years of sport really sets you up for your biggest opponent yet to come in life, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So to our viewers at home, I want you to watch this clip from Lyall, and we'll be back with you in 2 minutes. Check this out, please.
Lyall Woznesensky, 6'6.5". Pretty fortuitous life. Everything's gone good. I was fortunate enough to play professional football for about 9 years. Got married to a beautiful woman. 2 great kids. Then one day I got diagnosed with cancer. And it was tough to hear it, but tougher to tell my kids, which was the toughest part, and my wife. But they were there. They stuck with me. It was weird. It was just a little bump on my chest. Didn't think anything of it. And then I got some treatment. I went through treatment for about a month. And then we found out, we thought it was going good. That treatment didn't work. And then I was fortunate in about 2 months later to get on a clinical trial because I've got melanoma cancer. And I started that in March of 2016. And I've been on it since last March. Now it's already November. And then started the treatment, had some ups and downs and some problems that were going on, but I got a CAT scan in July. They said no tumors had grown, which was very fortuitous in that sense of saying it. And then just recently I had another CAT scan, and they said that the tumors have started to shrink. So right now I feel like the luckiest guy in the world to have this happen. But maybe more important is how much closer our family is. And I question why I'm so lucky when I see kids and other people that are suffering worse. So out of all this, I thought I had a good life before. It's even better now. So that's my story.
Thanks for watching that clip. So what does it make you feel when you watch that?
It's tough. It's I don't want to repeat the video, but everything sort of everything I said in there still holds true right now. It's I am a lucky guy, and still every day I question how come I'm a fortunate one where I see other situations and other people that are a lot younger than me. You see kids, you see middle-aged. I'm no martyr. I don't want to go anywhere, but I've been able to experience a lot of great things in life. We just talked about my football career. My wife's the greatest woman in the world. Without her, I wouldn't be around, and my boys. But yeah, I think that video sort of expressed it all, Jimmy.
So, and I guess for our viewers at home, that video, your son is a successful casting director, and he shot that for a commercial, correctly? Is that what it was, an audition? Yeah. So it was an audition for a commercial, which did you book that?
I did, actually. Thank you.
Celebrity.
Yeah.
Okay. But we also, this is about raising awareness too, right? So maybe you can kind of take us through a little bit, kind of some Cole's Notes version of that journey from a little blood blister to stage 4 diagnosis.
Yeah, that's exactly what it said in the video. Basically, I saw a blood blister, and I thought it was a blood blister. Didn't think much of it. Poked it, blood came out, ripped some skin off. Didn't say anything to anybody. Next week it came back. Showed my wife. She said, "You better get it checked." Got a biopsy. It showed that it was melanoma. Within 2 weeks, they had me in the hospital for surgery, and the tumor was big enough and went down to my bone. So it was a big one. And then they took out a couple of lymph nodes and sent the lymph nodes. One was good. The other one had a little trace, but it didn't appear that it had spread anywhere, which was a good sign. And then about 3 weeks later, they took out a whole bunch of lymph nodes again. Only one of it showed. So they said, not bad. They go, when I was at stage 3B at that time, well, it was deemed that. And then they said, okay, well, the oncologist said, who's a bright lady. Her name's Bernstein. She's right to the point, doesn't mess around. I really liked it about her. I said, "What would you do?" And she said, "Well, this is what well, this is before that. Sorry, they gave me this interferon in November, and I'm not gonna lie, I had to take that 20 days, not on the weekends, but it was a tough drug. It was a tough drug, and it's like bad fevers and things of that nature, and you're feeling weaker and nauseous and all that. So." My wife was right there for me the whole time. I mean, I'm so fortunate that we thought it was going good. The doctor thought it was going good, but I had a CAT scan in January of 2016. It showed it wasn't. Some tumors had grown. And then I went back to Dr. Bernstein and I said, well, what do you think? What can we do? And she goes, I go, what would you do? She goes, well, I might be able to get you in a clinical trial. So by that time, when they saw it wasn't working in January, I was up at stage 4. So they got me into this clinical trial for immunotherapy, and it was combination treatment. And it's newer, but it's been around a little bit too. And I've been on that since March 2016. And I've had now another CAT scan this past February, and it's still showing some of the tumors, but they're not growing, and some seem to be shrinking a little bit. So that's all great news. And I've really only got one treatment left, and then a CAT scan to see where I'm at.
So what was it like when you got the initial diagnosis? What was going through your mind at that point?
To be honest with you, what was going through my mind is, how am I going to tell my wife and kids? That's the toughest part. That commercial you talked about with Chris, I was pretty good. I'm not like the crybaby I am now, right? When I first told him, and I blame it on the medication now. And when I brought the boys home, and Debbie and I told them, I think I was physically appeared stronger, right, to say it. When I did that audition, the irony is, the people who were looking for people didn't know that I was Chris's dad. And it was a surprise to them when they were talking to me. But when I started crying and stuff, that's the first time Chris ever saw me cry about it.
Really?
Yeah, it was the first time. And so it was taken back a little bit for him, I think, too, right? And but in a good way, in a good way. So it served a lot of purposes. I think that I could finally show my true emotions in a way that my kids weren't going to be scared, because things were starting to look better by this time. So
Did you ever feel that because of your football status, being the big man, that you never really could express things? Was it always hard to?
I think I was a prototype jock kid growing up, and wouldn't say a lot of things, and certainly wouldn't show crying or things like that, because you saw it as a sign of weakness. And yeah, I thought I was that way, and even bringing my kids up. Don't get me wrong, when I brought my kids up every day from when they were born till today, we tell them every day, we tell them we love them. And this is even before these things happen. But I can tell you, by going through this, it's probably made my kids stronger, because they're opening up more. And that's what I'm so proud of. And my wife is, well, she's the pillar. She may not open up half as much as the rest of us, and I know she doesn't, right? So I don't know how she does it and keeps strong, but she does it for me and the boys.
Yeah, I think you when we talked before the show, a month ago or so, you had mentioned how it really, like, when someone has a cancer, it's oh my God, what are you going through, this and that, but really it's what about the caregivers, right? They almost kind of get left in the wings because all the focus is here.
You know
right?
what? You couldn't say it better. And I'll add one other thing before I get into that answer is, what do you do? Who do you tell, right? Well, obviously I'm going to tell my wife and my kids. How many other people did I want to tell? I didn't want to tell a whole bunch of people, to be honest, right? Because I didn't want to see people looking at me differently, and that's that, I guess, the dilemma that you think you're fighting at the time. Oh, poor Lyall, right? And go on. So we can talk about that a little bit more, but getting the caregivers, I'm telling you, they don't get any credit for anything. I mean, everyone's always asking about me, how are you doing, well, right? But they're not asking about the people that are closest to you that are suffering. And that's why when I speak about my wife, who's had to go when I've had my little emotional breakdowns at times, and who supports her, right? And it's hard. And I'm sure other people feel similar, and they don't get the credit that they should get, right? I mean, they're not asking for it, but they need emotional support. Yeah.
Everyone does.
Exactly.
Everyone does, right?
Exactly.
I mean, so we're at a stage now. You have one treatment left. Is that what you said? Sorry.
One more treatment, yeah.
Okay. And then what happens? I mean, then you are technically in the clear for, and then you got to go back periodically for X number of years. How does it all?
Well, melanoma is a bit different because it's the drugs I'm taking are called immunotherapy, and I think we talked about that. That's different than chemo, right? It's a totally different type of drugs. They don't know how long you can last. Like, they don't know, the average time frame that they were giving people, and my wife just told me, I don't know, about a month ago, she goes, it's 14 months. When you get to stage 4 melanoma, they're saying 14 months is the average. If that was the case, I would have been done in December of 2016, right? Of course, there's some people now that have lived up to 5 years, right? But it's not like a normal chemo where they say, well, if you don't get it for 5 years, you're good. They can't say that about melanoma because they don't know when it's going to come back. So your question, it's a good one. Now it's another journey. I've got a CAT scan on this year, May 23rd, and I'll find out more. And then they'll be checking periodically. It will be once a month for a while, and then it'll be every 3 months. But as it stands right now, what if it comes back is really the question you're probably asking. Don't know, because I've taken, these clinical trial drugs, and is there anything else that I could take or of that nature? But there is no answer to that one. So it's
Well, I mean, obviously it is about being present and enjoying the now then, no matter what, right?
It really is. It really is.
So we do have to close it down. New this year on season 2, what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the show with 5 questions that I'm going to give to my guest here, and hopefully stimulate something in you folks watching this. Okay?
Okay.
So Lyall, what has life taught you so far?
It's taught me what you said about everything. Live every moment. Try to be a better person. I'm trying to be, like I tell a lot of people, I'm Catholic and I believe in God. I don't think I'm the greatest Catholic. Don't think I'm in God's top 2 billion, right? But I'm working at it, and I'm trying to be a better person. I mean, it's an everyday thing, so that's for sure. Try to be a better person every day.
What's one word that describes you best?
Wow, one word describes me best.
First thing that comes in your head.
Hopeful.
Hopeful. What's the one thing you wish your parents would have told you? To ensure, I can't say they haven't said it, but I was going to say to ensure that you take care of your family. They're number one in your life. But I think my parents did tell me, so I don't know. I think they're pretty good. Most impactful decision in your life?
Most impactful decision. The things that impacted me the most was getting married. I mean, my wife turned me around, made me a better person.
I know that feeling. Lastly, if you have grandkids or you were to have grandkids and they saw a picture of you years from now, what would you want them to say?
That he's a loving grandpa, that I love grandpa more than anything. That would be it.
All right. Well, Lyall, I want to thank you for being on the show, kicking us off for season 2.
Thank you for having me. If this can make a difference for one person, and some people are nervous about sharing, I said, Maybe some can't, but if you can and you can make a difference for one, to me, means everything in the world.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And I think that really sums up really what this show is about. If we can make a difference to one person at home watching this, to value their lives day to day and just take a moment out of this rat race that we call life and just enjoy it, then we're all going to be better people, right?
We are, Jimmy. Thank you. And thank you for running the show. It has an impact.
All right. Thank you for watching, and thank you for all your support. And please check us out on Facebook, on YouTube, Instagram, Can't Ordinary Inspire. And this is the Inspirational 30. I'm your host, Jim Gardiner. Thank you for watching.